There are plenty of college stars that never get their opportunity to shine at the NFL level, so fans often forget about them after their college days are over. Well, in 2025, the UFL is home to a number of these players, so here are 5 former college stars you can now find in the UFL. Number 5, Matt Corral. Corral was one of the best Ole Miss quarterbacks in recent memory, passing for over 3,300 yards in both of his seasons as the full-time starter. He also led the Rebels to bowl game appearances in both of those years, with 2021 being his standout season. He finished 7th in Heisman voting, passing for 3,349 yards with 20 touchdowns to just 5 interceptions. He led Ole Miss to a 10-2 record in the regular season, and as the 2022 NFL Draft loomed near, some people projected him to be the first quarterback off the board in a weak class. Unfortunately, an injury he sustained in that year's Sugar Bowl tanked his stock down to the 3rd round, where he was selected 94th overall by the Carolina Panthers. He missed all of the 2022 season with that injury, and unfortunately his NFL career never really recovered. He was waived after training camp in 2023, and despite a quick stint with the Patriots that year, he never saw in-game action before his September release. He then signed with the Birmingham Stallions in 2024 and lost the starting quarterback job to Adrian Martinez, who went on to win league MVP and sign with the New York Jets in the offseason. Now, with Martinez gone, Corral will be back to competing for the starting job, this time against former USFL MVP Alex Magoo. Number 4, Max Duggan. Duggan was another incredible quarterback at the college level, famously leading TCU to the national championship game in 2023. He'd been an up-and-down starter in college until that season, when following an injury to Chandler Morris, he stepped back into the starting role and led the Horned Frogs to a historic year, going undefeated in the regular season. Despite Duggan being one of the best college quarterbacks that year, it took until the 7th round for the Chargers to select him with the 239th overall pick. He spent 2 seasons on their practice squad, but following a late season release, he signed with the St. Louis Battlehawks for the 2025 season. Duggan's arrival has generated some major excitement in St. Louis, and they are expected to be a playoff team with him at the helm. Number 3, Abram Smith. Abram Smith had a very unique story in college. He played at Baylor, and despite starting his time there as a running back, he was actually moved to linebacker during the 2020 season. He was solid in this role, registering 41 tackles and a sack on the year. In 2021, however, he returned to playing running back, and in his final season, he shined for the Bears. He ran for 1,601 yards and 12 touchdowns, assisting his team in winning the Big 12. Despite his elite play that season, he went undrafted in the 2022 NFL Draft. He spent training camp with the New Orleans Saints that year, but didn't end up making the team. This led to him signing with the DC Defenders, where he would burst onto the scene in his first year. He ran for 788 yards and 7 touchdowns in just 10 games, and led the Defenders to the XFL Championship. Despite them coming up short in that game, he was named to the 2023 All-XFL team, and although he missed 2024 due to injury, he is expected to be back among the best running backs in the league in 2025. Number 2, Amari Rodgers. Rodgers was a star receiver at Clemson in 2019 and 2020, going for 1,020 yards and 7 touchdowns in the latter year. The 2020 season served as a true breakout year for him. The departure of T. Higgins and Justin Ross opened the door for him to be targeted at a much higher rate, turning him into Trevor Lawrence's favorite target in his final year. This production turned him into a 3rd-round draft pick by the Green Bay Packers in the 2021 NFL Draft, but at the NFL level, he was never able to produce the same way as in college. He signed with the Birmingham Stallions ahead of the 2024 season, and despite a somewhat disappointing year 1, he now looks to be a feature weapon in their offense in 2025. Number 1, Bryce Perkins. Bryce Perkins was a star in his college years at Virginia. The 6'3" quarterback played his first full season as the starter for the Cavaliers in 2018, throwing for 2,680 yards with 25 touchdowns to just 9 interceptions. He also displayed his emphatic rushing ability with an additional 923 yards and 9 touchdowns on the ground. His rushing numbers took a bit of a hit in 2019, but that was made up for in an increase in passing stats, as he threw for 3,538 yards and 22 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. He was named 2nd team All-ACC that year, and despite going undrafted that April, he signed with the Los Angeles Rams and ended up playing in 5 games in 2022. After being released, he was about ready to retire from football before he was given an opportunity with the Panthers this past season. He played sparingly in 5 games, but was impressive in the limited action. He's now poised to be the starter in 2025, so could we potentially see him return to form from his time at Virginia? So, which of these former college stars are you most excited to see play again in the UFL? I'll be releasing more content related to the UFL as we get closer to the season, so stay tuned for that. Take care.